Hello and welcome to another Path of Exile 2 market analysis video. So if you haven't seen any of these videos before, we are basically going to look at the past developments for the market, and then we will make a prediction on which currency is going to rise in value, so in relative value in comparison to everything else, and which currency is going to drop. And if we do that correctly, we will basically have made a profit. And to do that now, we will be looking at this Excel document. I will link it in the video description, though I recommend that you download it because otherwise you will not see these graphs and you will only see the singular data points in the Google Doc. And in addition to that, I also recommend that you join our Discord server, which will also be linked in the video description, so you get the fastest updates on these market changes before the video uploads, and you can also see a lot of different profit strats there. So to get started with the analysis for today, we basically want to look at this table right here and this table right here. And this is going to be the short-term development table, and this is going to be the long-term development table. And we want to look at something that's happening at the end right here. So first of all, the omens that we invested into yesterday. So I told you guys to invest into the omen of Sinistral Erasure because it reached the 100% line, and I told you also to invest into the omen of Sinistral. Let's see right here, the omen of Sinistral Null. Yes, and these two currencies, they have still not had that price hike that they had before, and we're kind of in this middle period where price is kind of consolidating, and I think that we still stand before a huge price increase. As you can see, the prices have been kind of evening out, and then they have increased a lot. So we will be keeping those two investments. So I have 30% in both of these omens, and we have already made one divine over the time span of 2 days from the Sinistral Null, and we have also made 1.8 divines from the omen of Sinistral Erasure. So just because this is not increasing as much as, for example, the omen of Dextral Annulment, which is kind of misleading because this line kind of has the same color as this line, but these two are different omens. The Sinistral Erasure is down here. We can still say that these have made us some profit. So we will be keeping those investments, and for you guys that still haven't made any investments and maybe want to invest into something, I first off recommend that you put half of your currency into the Chaos Orb, because the Chaos Orb, which you can see at the long-term development graph right here, is the currency that has the highest cumulative addition score. So it's basically the currency that has continuously increased in value over the longest period of time in comparison to all of these different currencies. So yeah, always put half of your currency into Chaos Orbs, and from there you can then stretch out into other investments like omens. You can also buy omens with Chaos Orbs. Just make sure that if you haven't invested anything yet, put half of it in Chaos Orbs. And yeah, if you then want to know some of these speculative investments, I will advise you to also get into the into these omens right here. So that's also the omen of Sinistral Erasure and the omen of Sinistral Annul. In addition, I also have some currency in the Fracture Orb, only 6% right now, because the Fracture Orb kind of has the tendency to be very, very valuable. You can see that right here, like having a huge increase in value. So maybe if we are really lucky, this Fracture Orb could increase to 15 divines one day, and then we have made something like 7 divines. And we also made some profit right here. So it's like 0.3 divines, which is not a lot, but still some profit. So we haven't made any losses yet. You can see this in the total right here from since when I have started tracking actually my stash development concerning investments. And yeah, so some of your stuff into fracture orbs, most of it I would recommend into Sinistral Erasure and Sinistral Annul. And if you are feeling really, really, really lucky, you can invest into the mirror. Of course, that is not really possible if you don't have a ton of divines, but it can be that this mirror will increase to something like 200 more divines. So you will have made 200 divines if you're really, really lucky. But the mirror is not really a good investment, which you can also see on this on the right right here. The mirror has had the second worst continuous increase in value. So the mirror is basically the second worst currency inside the game, but sometimes since it's the most valuable, you might have a huge increase, right? Over just a few hours or just a few days. So yeah, that's going to be about it for today. And as always, if you have stayed until now, you are basically one of the few 5% that are watching these videos until the end. So for that, I want to thank you very, very much. And I'll see you in the next one. I'm out.